Welcome to the Hellmouth. Hope everybody's 5x5. This is Major Slayage, Ket Arik, Rewatch, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My name is Eric, and to my right, your left, my gorgeous, hilarious, brilliant, talented wife and co-host. You know her as half the powerhouse duo that is Kim and Ket. Stay alive, maybe. Give it up for Ketrin Porter.
Hello.
We're here to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 3, Episode 18, Earshot. What'd you think of this one?
Serviceable.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. We can't this is how these shows go. We have to have interjections of sort of standalone stories.
Yeah.
But we did get some character information. It wasn't like a completely standalone.
Yeah, I would say this is mid. It was pleasant enough. There is some goofy plotting in the mystery portion of it, which we'll get into. We've just been on such a run of bangers. We've just, between consequences,
Bad girls,
like doppelgangland, enemies, just boom, boom, boom. It's just been amazing.
I gotta say, at this point, any episode that doesn't have the mayor in it, I'm bummed.
Yeah, no, I missed him for sure.
Yeah,
we traded in the mayor for Joyce, and I feel like we came out worse for the deal.
No,
Joyce was fine, and there were some funny moments.
Yeah, you're so mean to Joyce. You're so mean to Joyce.
Would I rather watch a Joyce scene or a mayor scene?
I'm just saying you're mean to Joyce.
I don't think I'm mean. I think I'm honest with Joyce. I think she's strong enough to handle it. Watch along on Patreon, by the way, $5 a month. You can watch the episodes with us, hear us talk over the whole thing. And we also do a mini-sode called Trivia Crypt, behind the scenes mini-sode for each episode. We do a deep dive into the minutia. We do a deep dive into anything we discuss that we don't know the answers to. And then just like fun facts, trivia, things like that. So all of that included for $5 a month.
Yeah, we also have a new product over on Patreon that is not included in your $5 a month subscriptions, but is in and of itself also just $5. I don't know of another tarot read that you can get for $5.
That's true. So yeah, we go to these fairs. This one was like $65.
Yeah, so I will do a personalized tarot read video, for not to be confused with tarot read.
Right.
For $5 over on our Patreon.
Yeah, helps us keep the lights on, helps us feed the cats, and helps us replace gear that breaks down, lights, all that kind of jazz. So anyway, I see no reason not to just press on. What do you say? You want to launch into this?
Let's do it. So we open with Buffy fighting a mouthless albino swim team monster demon.
These guys... They're supposed to be like naked demons, very clearly in a costume. Did
you just say they're supposed to be naked demons?
Like sometimes the demons wear clothes.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
These guys are portraying naked demons.
Naked demons. Okay.
But they're clearly in a tight-fitting rubber suit.
Yes.
That, for whatever reason, I couldn't get out of my head, reminded me of Slim Goodbody, the child's edutainer.
I'm too young to know what he's talking about.
We'll put a picture up here for those of you who are...
I'm just a little baby.
You don't remember Slim Goodbody?
I don't.
Anyway, yeah, this was goofy looking. Although the face was scary, but I think the bodies just looked like...
Yeah, and I have a no mouth fear. Like, that freaks me out. That really bums me out.
Because the mouth was kind of like there was slats in the mouth.
Yeah, there's a whale whose name I can't think of that has like a slat mouth.
It reminded me of in the Matrix when Neo starts to lose his mouth and his mouth's kind of growing together and it's got these like kind of weird tendril things.
I want to watch the Matrix again.
It was fantastic.
It's so good.
Movie.
It's a great movie. So anyway, she's fighting these two albino swim team monster demons. One of them gets away. She doesn't see, but we see that there's a little bit of a sparkly, shiny, bioluminescent milk blood left on her hand.
Demon jizz on her hand. Although before we get there, she does a fake final girl fall, and then when the demon approaches, she grins because it was all a ploy.
That was pretty great.
And then she pops up and whoops his ass.
You demons can't resist a run and stumble, can you?
And on KK Sam, we are constantly aggressively irritated at women in horror films who like run and fall for no reason. Like that is such a trope that they're like, and then you fall. It's like, how often do you actually fall when you're running? Like not that often, but in horror movies, they always do. So I did like that this was
a twist,
a twist on it. Yeah. Now we go to Buffy walking into the library and everybody else is there. They got information from Faith about the Ascension.
Happening at graduation.
But unfortunately, the information that they got has not proven as fruitful as they were hoping.
Buffy's super bummed that this whole ruse and the whole making her boyfriend hump Faith,
because it's making her,
didn't lead to them solving anything.
Yeah.
It just led to more questions, although she's taking it well in her Easter best.
yeah, when this show puts them in church teen clothes, it just is weird to me. But then again, if I'm being really honest, if I like look back at my like prep school out of uniform days, there was a lot of like church teen realtor office assistant attire happening during this time period.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I don't stand by it. Hindsight is 2020 and I don't appreciate it. Xander looks lovely in his yellow sweater though. Yellow is a tough color to wear and I think he wears it well.
He pulls it off. He does. And I didn't realize we were going to get a scene of them coming up, but he's like dressed like the Sunnydale High cheerleaders.
Yes. He's trying to infiltrate the cheerleaders to get closer to Cordy, I guess. So WWP comes in and he's very snarktastic at Giles for not having figured out anything. And does have I feel like he practiced this line. I don't think he thought of it off the top of his head.
He was in the mirror saying this one over and over to himself.
Because Giles is like,
I was just filling Buffy in on my progress regarding the research of Ascension.
Oh, and what took up the rest of the minute?
and he's so fucking proud of himself. I mean, he really practiced that for quite some time. Giles says touche, but then Ripper does a reversey because he sits down and goes, so what do you have to report? Guy who's actually getting paid by the council to do work? And of course, WWP has nothing, so all the scoops leave.
Yep, he walks the room.
Yep.
Like a bad comedian.
Wuffy is now in the hallway, and we're starting to see a pattern with Buffy, not as a slayer, but like something that is going to prove to be an issue in relationships, in that she does a lot of internal speculation and kind of refuses to actually just be honest, out with it, ask the question.
This started back in season 2 when she saw
Drusilla.
Angel and Drusilla in the park.
And instead, rather than
herself
asking
alive
him
about it, rather than just go and say, hey, what was up with you and Drusilla?
And it's always Willow who's like, did you talk to him? Did you ask him? She's like, no. Which Eric said last week is we do find that we tend to be.
A lot of our friends, when they want to talk to us about their relationship woes, they don't have an answer to that question.
Yeah. She says, as always, I invite you to ask. I was like, I like when Willow gets snarky. Xander comes up and he is, I don't know, he's taken with the jocks. Like he simultaneously hates the jocks and is also jealous of the jocks.
And then the one knows his name and he's like, oh my God, he knew my name. So
exactly.
He flips on a dime.
One of my favorite new relationships is
Percy and Willow.
Worsey. And it's just so great. I love that Percy has like kind of met his match, that like he was forced to respect a woman that was lower on the totem pole than he is. And I hope that he takes this life lesson into the world.
Well, even his friend Too Tall Jones seems to acknowledge what a positive influence she's had on him.
Yeah.
So this is a very fortuitous turn of events for a good old Percy.
And it's such a perfect example of like, we spend so much time stereotyping and tribalizing in our daily life. It looks like Percy and Willow have not necessarily things in common.
They're not
but
besties,
like,
but they're friends.
They're enjoying talking about things to each other, and like Willow is bringing the whole gang to his basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a really, there's a lot of life lessons in this episode.
It's just occurring to me now though, and this I'm sure was done for budget reasons, but we get like a midday pep rally rather than any on-court action. I would love to have seen a little bit of basketball.
We had midday pep rallies.
Right, but I'm saying the show should have shown us a little basketball game.
Oh.
Instead of treating it like a Greek play and we hear about it afterwards.
Yeah, you're right. Budget. But it's also, we could say it's like, well, Buffy didn't get to see it. Neither do we.
I guess
if Buffy can't see it, neither can we. Buffy can't go to the game because she has to patrol, and there's very specific patrolling needs happening with Faith and the mayor and these fucking demon assholes and shit. She keeps itching her hand. And I was very triggered by this because the mosquitoes are starting to find me, and
You think there's one in here in the studio with us?
There's one in here in the studio. There's also one that flew. I was wearing a shirt with sleeves before. It flew under my sleeve and bit me right here. It's really upsetting. And
So yeah, she's having a reaction to the demon jizz. That
and
got on her hand.
before you guys are like, have you tried this? Yes,
She's tried everything.
I've tried it. Okay.
And it's wild because, and we've talked about this before, once summer gets here, she gets bit 20 times a day when she goes outside. I get maybe 5-10 bites all summer. Like they're just not interested in anything going on over here.
So fucked up. Buffy goes to Giles to be like, my hand itches. And
She's got it under a magnifying glass. Yeah. She's like checking it out.
And this is one of those times where I'm like, guys, do you know you live on the Hellmouth? Because she's like, I'm sure it's nothing Lubriderm can't fix. And I'm like, you're on the Hellmouth. Like there's definitely, you need to err on the side of Hellmouthiness, I think, and be pleasantly surprised when it's just
a mundane thing.
Mundane thing. That's how I function, honestly. I think that's why it's so triggering for me.
Yeah, well, you also do treat everything like we live on a Hellmouth.
Yeah, and then when we don't, I'm pleasantly surprised.
When lately, when has it not felt like we're on? When have you had that experience?
Yeah, I mean, good thing I'm prepared. Good thing I've been preparing for the
mentally
hellscape we're in.
fortified for.
No, I'm not. I'm losing my mind. Giles looks up the demon in one of his books, and it turns out that if you get any of this milk blood on yourself, it infects you with an aspect of the demon, but we don't know what aspect it's going to be.
So she tortures herself for a couple of days imagining all of the things from a demon she could now acquire.
Yeah, and he also says, okay, you can't track the second demon then, because I don't want you to be exposed.
Yeah.
So now we cut to the midday pep rally. Cordy is cheering. This is the first time we've seen a school newspaper. Willow reflects that the school newspaper is getting pretty depressing. Now, as Oz points out, this is a high school newspaper that undoubtedly has an obit section, for sure. And so when you think about like, oh, the paper's so depressing, I'm like, the last page is the obituaries.
Right.
You have so many deaths at your school. It requires an entire section in the newspaper. I can understand why maybe there aren't as many hearts and sparkles in the article.
Well, he calls the cheerleaders prostitutes, so he's
that ain't great.
He's clearly got some good old fashioned American values. And what's weird is you start to put the pieces together on this guy, which we'll point out some things as they happen.
Yeah.
It's grim.
I kind of know where some of these guys ended up. I'll tell you what.
And it's funny because there's a shot of Oz in this scene, which I think is one of the anomalies from blowing it up to the wider format. So back when the show aired, our TVs were they're pretty square. And there's stuff that was on the outer edges of the film that was shot, but wasn't ever intended to be seen. But then when they made the new editions and they put them on DVD, they expanded, they showed more of the frame. And there's Oz, who I think is Seth Green, clearly not in character, cracking up on the edge of the frame while the other people are talking because he's not reacting to them. He's like kind of his attention somewhere else and he's laughing because he doesn't think he's in the scene.
I missed this completely.
Yeah,
what was happening here? What was happening?
Buffy and Willow were talking and Oz is just kind of over on the side, just kind of barely in the frame.
Because I can't think of a time when we've seen Oz laugh.
Yeah.
The reason that Wuffy is kind of off talking is because Buffy is spinning out about like, what is the aspect I'm going to get? And frankly,
am I getting horns? Am I getting a tail?
Am I getting a no mouth?
Willow's like, you might be getting a penis.
A demon penis. I'm like, what does that demon penis even look like? What can you do with it?
Why?
Let's try it out.
Probably do a lot of the same things you do with a human penis.
I don't know. I've never seen it. We don't know. But also, they were naked.
Yeah, they didn't seem to have a penis
unless they've got hanging dong.
Unless they've got a weird like penis that only comes out like you blow it up like one of those balloons that you make a wiener dog out of.
I think that's
just inflates when it's necessary, then it goes back inside.
I think that's probably it. Now we cut to nighttime. Everyone but Buffy is at the basketball game, presumably, and she's walking around checking in her makeup compact to make sure she still has a mouth. And then we get a cool thing that I love when they do this. So we take for granted that Angel has no reflection, but she's looking at herself in the mirror and then she turns around and Angel is behind her, but he wasn't showing up with the reflection. It's fun. It's a very awkward interaction because the last thing that we saw these two was Buffy going, I need a break, which I totally get.
Understand. It was very traumatic.
I also have to remember she's 17. Relationships and boy stuff is so terrifying and hard, even if they're not a 243-year-old vampire.
Right.
You know, like she's got a lot on her plate, and I feel like it's fun for me to remember that she's doing everything that she's doing with the brain of a 17-year-old.
Right. It's frustrating to watch as a viewer, but it's very realistic and relatable.
Yes.
And probably to a even younger audience that's closer to that. I mean, I can still recall that. It's 190 years ago for me, but I remember being a teenager.
Also, you know what? I'm being too hard on Buffy when I'm like, just talk to him, because like I was too scared to. You're really the first guy where I'm like, hey, you fucking idiot. Because I know you'll stick around.
Lucky me.
You'll stick around.
Well, of course I will.
Because you know that I mean it, but I'm not, I'll get over it. I won't even get over it.
I think I cut this from a recent episode, but I did say in a recent episode, it's like, it's astonishing how comfortable you are being a dick to me on the internet.
It's because it's with love. Like
I knew what I was getting into. I don't feel hornswoggled.
I just need to like be myself. I can't.
That's the best thing about this.
Yeah, I just need to be myself. So I wish that for Buffy. Zaz is talking still while the pep rally is happening.
Yeah, we're time traveling back.
Xander is really trying to do some. He's mentally. Hold on.
He's doing a lot of mental gymnastics.
He's
doing a lot of rationalization.
Yeah, rationalization. That was the word I was looking for. He's doing a lot of mental
trying to
gymnastics.
reverse engineer that he's glad about how things went with Cordy,
and
because there's so many other hot cheerleaders I could date. First of all, no, you couldn't. Second of all, she's definitely the hottest.
Yeah. Third of all,
here comes Wesley.
Yeah. Third of all, you cheated on her, dude.
Right.
Like you're so dumb. Like you're so stupid. I bet he thinks about that all the time, where he's just like, what was I doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
He sees Cordy C WWP walking around. You brought up such a good point during the watch along. And I remembered it because it rarely happens. So like it really
I'm going to have to play the montage of the dancing people and the fireworks and everything.
How does the school justify some weird, strange Englishman that doesn't have a job?
Yeah, he's got no
campus?
official role at the school. He's just creeping around all the time like he's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Giles at least was the school librarian. This is just Giles's boyfriend. Like, you don't know what the fuck this guy is.
Who could? Yeah.
What do the rest of the students think Wesley is?
Also, like, definitively, the one thing schools can't have is strange men walking around.
Well, this is pre-Columbine. All bets were off.
What is it though?
Anybody? I think so.
Columbine was 99.
So this is, but I think this is
no, and also no, because also.
Oh, because we've got the
Cordy makes a reference.
I'm still having trouble with the fact that one of us is just gonna gun everybody down for no reason.
Yeah, because that never happened in American high schools.
It's bordering on trendy at this point.
Commentary.
Yeah.
Well, let's trivia crypt when this occurred.
Because it had to have been post. Because
for that comment,
Columbine was the only time that's ever happened.
No, that's absolutely not true.
Columbine was the first time that had happened. On that scale,
it took the country by storm for sure.
Yeah. So I think it has, which is like, that's
been my go-to line about why they can just get away with weird shit at high schools. You got to be somewhere.
It's my 9 o'clock. Sorry, go ahead.
That's been my go-to line for a long time with the show. Is it's it's pre-Columbine or pre 9/11 is sometimes we say, but it's like this actually isn't pre-Columbine.
Yeah.
I think this is.
I think this is the same year. I think
trivia crypt whether this was written in response to Columbine or did this actually air first and it just was creepily prescient.
Yeah.
Whatever the case, you can't have weird Englishmen just walking around.
No. Xander is so transparent because like even though he's talking shit about Cordelia, he calls her my Cordy. Mm-hmm. And it's so heartbreaking.
And Oz has a great line. He's like,
"You're a very complex man, aren't you?"
Yeah. Once again, here comes Oz with a banger. But it's becoming more and more apparent to me. Like Oz literally just sits there for so many scenes. And for those of you that
had more to do in this one than the last one, but barely.
Yeah. And for those of you that like haven't been on set, like even the people that have a lot of lines, even the leads of shows, there's so much sitting around. and to be sitting around in the scene, which is the part that like is the stimulating part. It's the part where you're like, okay, well, at least I'll get my energy up because I'm in the scene. If the scene is also like
You're just sitting there listening to people talk.
I don't know how he kept his eyes open.
Literally furniture. And now let's fast forward back to where we were.
Angel's out and about tracking Faith. Buffy's out and about tracking Faith. So even though they were like, we need to have a break, they're coworkers. Like, it's difficult to avoid each other. They still love each other. It's tough. Angel has my favorite line in this scene, which at the superlatives, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Okay.
So the next day, they're talking about how exciting the basketball game was. And Oz says he almost felt an expression coming on at how exciting this game was.
That's why I'm certain that was Seth Green laughing in the other scene.
Yeah. The most upsetting part of this entire episode about gun violence at schools is Xander's shirt.
Yes. What Italian restaurant did he steal a tablecloth from to make this shirt?
They're kind of like trying not to talk about the game because Buffy couldn't be there. Yet another event that Buffy missed. Cordy is kind of
flitting about.
That's so funny that we both use the word flitting about. Xander is preoccupied with her and says something about like wondering if WWP and Cordy have kissed or something. And Buffy responds to that. And then we realize Xander never said anything. She heard Xander's thoughts.
And he goes, oh, it's like you're reading my mind. Dun,
yes.
Dun, dun.
Buffy had a very similar trajectory to how I would respond to this. My initial thing would be like, oh my God, all the tea that I'm going to learn. My curiosity for once in my life will be 100% satiated.
Yeah.
Fully. I would very quickly go, oh no, what have I done? No, not even that. It's just like, I don't want to know what people think about me for sure. Because like I'm a sensitive soul. I can be a dick, but I'm a sensitive soul. And like, I think about the fact that like all of our friends go to see this one cosmetic guy who like does their fillers and Botox and stuff. And
I knew this.
And he's really good, but he's extremely blunt. So like you will go in and he will see your face as like just a canvas that he's doing touch-ups to. And so like he will say things very bluntly to you. Every single one of my friends that has gone to him has separately said to me, oh, he's great, but you, Ketrin, should not go. Because I think they know that like I would not be able to handle whatever he had to say about my face.
I think you're more resilient than that. And I think you have a beautiful face that he's not going to find. I think they're just compensating.
All I'm saying is like, that is an example of like where I would not want to know what this doctor has to say about my face. I would be very upset. She is enjoying hearing the tea in the hallway, but she's also learning that boys think gross things constantly all the time. Do you ever have like not you, Eric, but like do boys ever have not gross thoughts in high school?
In high school, it's tough.
Like, does it genuinely feel like your brain is like not your own?
Here's what I'll tell you. I remember being 12 and I had a friend's older brother who was 14. And I was like, I asked him bluntly one time, what's puberty like?
Okay.
And he said, all you can think about is fucking and you want every girl you see. And at 12, and I may have even told this story on the show before. At 12, I thought, that's such a cliche. Like, that's corny. Like, that's not real. That's something out of a movie. And then I turned 14. This motherfucker was a sage. This motherfucker knew what he was talking about.
That sucks,
and
though.
That's an accurate description of what it's like to be an adolescent boy.
Like, that doesn't even sound fun.
And the question I often get is, well, when does that stop? I will let you know. to be determined.
Buffy is now telling Giles, hey, I have this cool trick. Giles is like, oh, that would be great for anticipating your opponent's moves and things like that.
Like, no, I'm going to use it to cheat at school.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why. This did not sit well with me.
This felt unethical to you.
It felt like brain plagiarism, I think is what it was. And like, I'm really like upset by plagiarism and like chat GPT and AI and like stealing. This felt like very upset. Like of all the things that she could have done, this one upset me the most.
But if she had used it to like for financial gain to fuck over a corporation or something.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
No, that's if she didn't use it for that reason.
But there's not much gain other than just like the bona fides of the attaboys of being the smarty pants in class. Like she doesn't get graded on how well she participates in classroom discussions.
I don't disagree. It's I can't really map it beyond that. It just makes me feel really oogie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because of the two of us, I think you are the one who's more comfortable playing fast and loose with the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I don't.
But it's weird that you have like this line.
It's my thoughts feel. That I don't know.
It's like a violation.
It feels like a very specific violation that makes me very uncomfortable. The best analogy I can
it's because
come
she's
up with
taking
is
the thoughts
plagiarism.
out of someone else's head.
Yes.
Now, if she had the ability to, let's say, put her hand on a book and absorb all the knowledge without ever reading it and just know stuff,
fine.
That's fine. It's that she went into someone's head
and took it.
It's about consent.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Because it's like because the thoughts she was reading, she wasn't trying to read them. They were coming at her, but to then take them and use them for her, unless it's a corporation, and then you should definitely take them for all they're worth and redistribute the wealth like a psychic Robin Hood. Cut to Buffy. She is like, you know who I want to use this brain power on? My 243-year-old vampire boyfriend. But she has a rude awakening because she goes in and guess whose mind can't be read?
Angels.
Yes.
And there's some I read your mind to get that answer.
Yeah, you did.
There's some kind of explanation about it. It's sort of like we don't have a reflection. Our thoughts don't reflect on you. It was poetic in the moment. I'm trying to unpack what it actually means or how it works, and I can't quite figure it out. But
the thoughts are there, but they create no reflection in you. Interesting.
I remember in Interview with the Vampire, the show that we love so much. And if you're not watching it, go watch it.
If you're not watching it, you're stupid.
And then join the Kim and Ket Stay Alive maybe Patreon, because they've been doing it the first 2 seasons for minisodes.
Yeah.
I guest hosted on a few of those while Kim was on maternity leave. Great, amazing show. But there is some, like, vampires have the ability to read minds, but you can't read the mind of the vampire that makes you can't read your mind for some reason. Like, there's lots of weird games around that.
Yeah. So it's not out of the realm of vampire lore to have thoughts be readable or not readable. Mm-hmm. But fucking Angel calls her out and he's like, you can't read my mind. If you want to know how I feel about something, why don't you ask me? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, that would have been the smart thing to do.
And you appreciated that she called herself out.
She did. I did appreciate that.
She didn't make excuses and she didn't back out. She's like, no, that would have been the way to handle this.
Because when I can't be honest about something to somebody, I definitely like beat myself up about that a little bit. Like, wish I was more courageous in that moment. He's probably seen stuff like this, I bet, like in his travels, and he's like, this may not be the gift you think it is.
Right.
This is something you need to be careful with, for sure. Back at the library, this is actually a scene, I forgot to say this during the watch along. I remember my dad, when he first watched this episode, loving the fact that Cordelia just says what she thinks.
Yes.
I don't see what this has to do with me. I don't see what this has to do with me.
She just has a thought and she says it. She doesn't. And there's something about that I respect, honestly.
Well, I think there's a couple ways to interpret it. One is that she's just simple and doesn't think about anything complex. She's really just thinking on the surface level at all times. But I think there's also she's not bullshitting anyone. She's not deciding what to share, what not to say. She's not maneuvering the conversation.
But we know that she is complex. Because she does have those bangers every so often.
Yeah, this was funny in the moment. Is this a moment that we laughed at it, but it actually doesn't reflect the character?
I disagree completely.
Okay.
I completely disagree. I think that you're seeing it as like a simplistic thing of like, thought simple, say thought. No, I think
that's
it's
how
an
the voice of the
honesty.
show kind of portrayed it, though.
That's not how I took it at all. I took
okay.
it as honesty, because what you saw in everybody else
I don't
was
want Buffy to know what
doublespeak.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, I want to hide what I'm thinking. Her thoughts were abrasive and selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, I respected it. I thought it was awesome. And she even has a line later on where like it's not consequential to the plot, so I can just say it, where she's like, I want to be on Wesley's team. And Xander says, do you have no shame?
I did like this.
And she says, oh yeah, like shame is something to be proud of. Like, she's not shallow.
Right.
She's extremely sure of herself. The thoughts that people are having were fascinating. So poor Xander can't stop thinking about sex. Oz is monk-like.
He's having an existential crisis.
Yeah, if she knows all of my thoughts, then Buffy is me and I don't exist. It was great. Willow also had well, I'll get to her in a second, because everybody starts peeling off as they start realizing that they're thinking things that they don't want Buffy to know. They kind of start peeling off. They don't want to be around. Xander doesn't want Buffy to know how much he thinks about sex. WWP doesn't want Buffy to know how he thinks about Cordelia.
And all this. Speaking of shame,
right?
This guy is drowning in shame.
Yeah,
he's really conflicted. At least he does feel conflicted. But if he was just lusting after her, this would be a lot harder to swallow. But he's like, oh, I shouldn't, but I can't. And I know he's tortured, and that doesn't make it okay, but it makes it better.
It makes it. We can hold our nose and swallow it, if nothing else. Willow's thought. Her first thought is, if you can just read everyone's thoughts, like, there's less of a use for her because she's the brain, she's the smart one. Mm-hmm. But then she realizes that, like, her boyfriend, who she wants to know, is very holds his cards close to his chest. She
describes him a taciturn man.
Yeah. And Buffy being able to read his thoughts means that she is literally going to know Oz better than she does.
She can have access to stuff that Willow can't get to. Yeah.
That blew my face off. Now she's walking through the hallway and it's a very different vibe. Like, now it's starting to be a little overwhelming. It's intrusive. And it actually makes me wonder, like, if the trait ramped up.
Yeah.
Because when we first heard it, she was kind of hearing one person at a time. She kind of had to be walking past them to hear it. Mm-hmm. Now it's everybody. And then we see later in the episode, she's hearing things in other houses. So it must be getting more intense, which I just realized. WWP and Giles are working together to try and find, an antidote, a cure, or whatever. And they find that there is a guy that this happened to fairly recently in Ecuador, and he was never able to cure it, and he is in total and complete insane isolation. This is a horror movie. This it's done in kind of a fluffy way, but like, this is terrifying. So now we cut to the cafeteria, and the cafeteria is too much for her because it's the din of actual conversation and the din of thoughts.
Yeah, cafeteria is already too much just on its face.
But a thought that she picks out of the din is,
this time tomorrow, I'll kill you all.
But it's in like a whispered voice. We can't even tell if it's a man or a woman.
It's funny that whoever's thinking the thought did, because all the other thoughts are in the voice of the person. This person knew to whisper their thoughts. Yeah. So we couldn't tell who it was. A little silly.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like I whisper thoughts sometimes. I feel like my inner monologue whispers every so often.
It's just convenient that this happened to be the thought that was whispered.
Yeah. Like, basically, she'd have to be extracted from society to, like, calm down.
Like Luke Skywalker moved to a planet, like, by herself.
I was more even thinking it's more like when you don't know what you're allergic to, you have to remove everything, and then you just have to add things. Like, as you go, she has to add, okay, 1 voice, 2 voice, like, try to manipulate it in that way is how I would probably approach it. But God knows how long Who knows how long that would take? And she's a Slayer. She has a job to do.
So she drops her cafeteria
Drops her tray.
and there's no Peter Parker there to grab all the things as they fall.
Yeah, and everyone applauds, which just like, I don't think that's ever happened to me, but it feels like something that's happened to me. Like, it feels very familiar.
And I wonder if they do that in other countries.
Well, Americans are notorious pieces of shit.
But
so.
yeah, people weigh in. If someone drops a tray or breaks a plate like at a restaurant, does the whole room spontaneously clap, or is that an American thing? Because it feels super lame. But every place I've ever been does it.
All the voices become too much and she actually passes out. She then wakes up to the Scoobies all standing over her. They brought her out into the lawn.
We started to think that maybe we could hear thoughts because we had the same thought Cordelia. It's like, why'd they move her?
Yeah. I mean, I guess she would have just woken up in the din.
Yeah, they knew that she would hear noise. They needed a little bit more peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet. So I guess it does make sense. I guess it was actually very smart now that I'm thinking about it. Buffy's like, there's a killer in the cafeteria. I don't know who it is, but she's losing it. Like, she's screaming for them to shut up, but nobody's talking. So she tells them to make a list of everyone that was in the cafeteria, I guess. And Giles is going to take her home.
Her performance is a little schmackty.
It is a little schmackty.
None of this rang true.
No.
This was very
She doesn't
surface
do.
level.
Here's what SMG is not actually very good at. She can't do sickness, drunk, or laughing.
Right.
Unfortunately. And frankly, those are all difficult.
Mm-hmm.
They're not easy to do. But
when you know that like she came up through soap operas, it makes sense. Like, she's good at intense drama.
Mm-hmm.
She's good at emotional hurt.
Mm-hmm.
She's good at looking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's at this point she sells all the action stuff very well.
Yeah, but
but the more kind of quirky aspects, and she's good with zingers. She's good with zingers, and she's good with sarcasm.
But
So
unfortunately, this is not all of the. She never does this
specific
well.
things.
Yeah, the Scoobs are now at school. This is where Cordelia has the gunning down high schoolers is bordering on trendy at this point. I mean, it has to be post-Columbine. There's no way it's not. So,
but it would almost be like so close to Columbine that you just go like it's too soon.
Exactly.
Like it's in really bad taste.
Yeah.
You got to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah. Back at home, Buffy is sick in bed, and Joyce wants to take care of her, but from afar, because
she's not trying to have her brain read.
What thought do you think she reads, everyone? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. She and Giles had sex.
This
Did y'all say it
funny.
together?
Although it was interesting, I did note that they played the mechanics of the storytelling differently in this scene. In every other scene, she hears the thoughts and we hear the thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
In this scene, we don't hear Joyce's voice saying, I bang Giles. We just have Buffy's reaction, which I think worked comedically. It is interesting that that's like, as far as the way the curse is presented, they chose to do it differently.
I think just because it was funny.
And
it was on the hood of that police car, as we predicted
2 times.
Back in the library, Willow is now giving out assignments of here are the people you have to interview, here are the people you have to interview. I had a thought about the Cordy and WWP thing. I was like, they needed Cordy to have a crush on WWP to justify her being around the Scoobies. Fine.
Could have played it where he wasn't reciprocating.
Those were my exact thoughts.
Yeah.
They didn't need him to reciprocate.
Yeah, it would have been almost funnier if he was annoyed by her and then
100%.
She wants him even more.
Or even if, like, you know what would have been super fun? If he was gay. And he was just like...
Oh, I don't think we're putting a major character gay in this show at that time yet.
I guess, but it would have been better.
I agree that would have been funnier.
Yeah. So here's who's interviewed.
Or if he's just happily married to like a lovely woman his own age.
Sure.
And she's just constantly pining. That would have been fucking
hilarious. I can see him married to, he's the Frasier and he's married to a Lilith. That's what I picture.
BB Newworth as Mrs.
WWP. Yeah. Okay, so here's who's interviewing people. Wanathan. Basketball players. Mr. Cordeach.
Back to Wanathan, though.
Yeah.
Willow has interrogated him before. It's when she got him to confess that he peed in the pool.
Yeah, and you thought Willow was not doing bad cop, but sexy cop.
Yeah, I thought she was playing it like she was coming on to him.
But sometimes the fantasy isn't enough, is it, Jonathan?
It definitely read erotic to me.
It did. I agree with you. I don't think that's what Willow thought she was doing, but it's what was happening.
Right.
Xander fucking pissed me off this episode. There is a mass murderer that wants to kill people. Strike number 1 was that shirt. Strike number 2 is that you're spending this time to interrogate women about what they find attractive in men so you can ask them out. We'll find out what strike 3 is in a second.
Weird, though, that he's reading back their turnoffs as insensitive men and Birkenstocks, because I feel like if you're dating the Birkenstock guys, you're almost certainly going to meet some sensitive men.
Ooh, I
disagree.
Think you are lumping
all the Birkenstock guys together.
Yeah, because there's a very specific type of narcissistic Birkenstock wearing piece of shit who thinks that he is so enlightened that he's a gift to everyone in the room.
Okay.
That fucking guy can go suck a dick, is what I'm saying. I know that fucking guy. I know several of those dudes. You ain't it. Oz is looking for Freddie Iverson, who's the editor of the newspaper. And he's the one who's a real salty, black-hearted little goth kid. So he seems like very Memphis 3.
I think it's more about his attitude. I think he's more because he's like fucking right-wing Perez Hilton.
Yeah, right. Yes. But
Because he fucking hates everybody. He hates everybody and everything. And then we notice that he's got a "Don't Tread on Me" flag in his fucking school newspaper office.
That's
this guy's all kind of bad news.
Man, that meant something so different, like back than what it means now. You make very different assumptions now if somebody has that.
Yeah, I think you beheld it with more of a that's weird, as opposed to
yeah.
And you probably got a Punisher t-shirt with a blue line on it.
Yes. Yes. Buffy's at home and she's kind of down for the count. Like, we are sans a Slayer right now because she's losing it, and now the voices, she can hear them from across the street. Yeah. So this is not good. And this was triggering because I'm like, it's in your head. You're not hearing it. It's in your head. So like, you can't even like put headphones on or something. Like, honestly, if you put noise canceling headphones on, it would be louder.
Yeah, it would focus the thoughts.
Yeah.
It would block out anything potentially distracting you from the thoughts.
WWP and Giles are trying to like make a potion, but the main ingredient is that they need the second demon heart, but they don't have a Slayer to go get the second demon heart. And they have
Who
this
can we send?
Yeah, they have this moment to be like, and I'm like, you guys, it's Angel. Go get Angel.
Right.
Stop it. Stop trying to make a mystery where there is none.
Right.
So Joyce is sitting vigil next to Buffy's bed. She's not well. The next day, so this is the day that it's gonna happen, Zeri is having an interview. Xander and Larry.
This was a nice moment.
And this was a lovely moment. So Xander thought that maybe Larry was feeling frustrated because he came out in season
Well, he didn't come
1.
out.
He came out to Xander
right
in season 1, I think. And 2.
His phases.
Okay. And the way that the conversation went down, Larry thought that Xander was also gay. And he's obviously not, and Xander's not secure enough to be like, no, I'm not, but cool that you are. He's like,
I will say he doesn't react homophobically though. It's just more like,
I guess you're right.
I'm so bad at communicating that I've bungled this, and it would be embarrassing to Larry if I tell him that he's wrong because I was so bad at communicating.
Okay.
That's how I took it. He doesn't go, I'm not gay. What are you talking about? He doesn't
That's
do
fair.
any of that toxic shit.
That's fair.
He just kind of goes, oh yeah, no, weird.
But I do love this for Larry. He's fully out. He's happy as a clam. His grandma's setting him up. I just love this. It's such a positive moment. It's
and he
great.
Says maybe Weird Freddy will write a coming out announcement in the paper for you. It's like, I don't want that snarky ass hater having anything to do with my coming out.
Exactly.
I need his commentary.
Oz is still looking for Freddy, by the way. He keeps dodging questions very suspiciously. And then when the scoops come back together, they're like, okay, so the only one we couldn't find was Freddy, and that's suspicious as fuck.
Right.
Buffy is still in bed, and she's kind of unconscious at this point. Giles is there now, and there's a banging on the door. Angel shows up.
In a blanket.
Cloaked. Yes, under blanket, smoking.
Like one of Michael Jackson's
Not smoking.
kids. He's covered in a blanket.
Like smoking. Yeah, this was weird. We didn't talk about it in the watch along, but this is weird. So he makes Buffy drink it, and then she has like a really lame convulsion that was very stupid.
Also, she only drinks like a drop of it. He brings this whole like genie bottle full of blue liquid.
Well, he doesn't know if she was going to spit it up. Maybe
just that there was one drop of Louis.
That's all you needed.
You didn't even need a bottle. Could have just dampened a rag in it and wet her upper lip.
The convulsing goes nowhere. It was stupid.
Yeah, this is that kind of episode.
It was dumb. Back at school, the Scoobies are still trying to figure it out, and we see Jonathan in the clock tower with a fucking rifle, which was ooh.
He's up there doing his best Lee Harvey Oswald. And
this is another episode that I watch where I'm just like, people that aren't American, are they just watching this being like, fucking Americans, man?
I watched this thinking that.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine other people aren't.
Buffy in bed, she wakes up, she comes to, and they're like, can you hear our brains? And she's like, oh my God, no, I can't. This is so great. So Buffy's back on the clock.
But we think it's Freddy.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Right. So the Scoobs all bust in on Freddy, and they're like, hey, you shouldn't kill a bunch of people. And he's like, kill a bunch of people?
Because I thought you were here because you were mad at my review of dingoes.
Dingoes ate my baby, played their instruments as if they had plump Polish sausages taped to their fingers. No, it's fair.
So great.
I don't know how much Oz hates his own band.
I know, it's so funny. At this point, Cordy picks up the paper that hasn't been released yet.
No, it's the inbox of notes and suggestions.
Oh.
It's a handwritten letter.
So Buffy's okay now. She comes in.
We're gonna get Standard to evacuate the school and just hope the killer's not waiting
By
outside.
this time tomorrow, you all know what I've done. I'm sure you understand that I had to do it, and that although death is never easy, it's the only way.
Jonathan, I had him in my grasp.
So this is where I go, this episode was wonky because they lean so heavily into us thinking it's Freddy that you almost kind of go, well, it's definitely not Freddy.
Yeah.
Like it's so ham-fisted. And then while the interrogation scenes were fun and we get a little bit of character, it really kind of goes nowhere. And then we as the audience see Jonathan with a rifle, and then the detectives only figure it out because he wrote a confession. So none of them accomplished a thing.
Yeah, it was a little goofy.
And that's kind of disappointing.
Now, if I'm playing devil's advocate, sometimes you don't figure shit out. Sometimes
yeah, but that's not how TV works.
Well, fair. So
how much better would it have been if we'd seen our varied cast each grab a piece of the puzzle and then put it together and put it together right before we as an audience figure it out? It's so much more satisfying. You tell the same story in a way that sucks us in, as opposed to us just going, oh yeah, but it's Jonathan. Now we're just waiting for them to catch up to Jonathan.
Agreed. You're just saying correct things all day today. How's it feel to be right?
This feels like a trap.
So now they all split up to find him. Here's strike 3 for Xander. Xander fucking goes in to the cafeteria and then is distracted by his overwhelming craving for Jell-O.
Which in the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde episode, what was that one called?
Oh, I don't know. Who cares?
Buffy is eating an entire flight of different colors of Jell-O. This cafeteria offers Jell-O every day in mass quantities.
Yeah.
It's not like they just got Jell-O.
Yeah, it was
He's
very
both
stupid.
surprised and distracted by Jell-O.
And
when there's a murder about to happen, it was pretty dumb.
Yeah, and it also like
he turned into Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo.
Yes, and it's like you can say whatever you want about Xander, like he's a flawed character, but like
you've seen him rise to the occasion when the stakes are real.
He's not going to be fucking distracted by Jell-O when there's a mass like that's so stupid.
It's pretty stupid.
And I have a fix for it. We'll get to it in a second. Buffy goes out. She sees Jonathan in the clock tower. And so she runs up there. She parkours up there. It was really fun. She has a move where I'm just like, I don't even know what the physics.
Well, I think because she swings under and she catches her feet and she pushes off with her feet and is able to complete that flip.
She's on like a harness. So it just like, it doesn't
look
like centrifugal force.
Right.
That thing does not obey the laws of physics at all.
So she busts in the window. Buffy is trying to talk Jonathan out of his gun. It's sad. He's insecure. He thinks that nobody cares about him. Nobody thinks about him. Buffy has a great take on this where she's like, you're right. Nobody does think about you. And we're like, ooh, ouch. Don't say that to the guy with the gun. But instead she's like, nobody cares because all they care about is themselves. Like even
Everyone's got their own shit they're going through.
have a shitty life. You can't just assume that like, because you think I'm pretty, that I don't have shit that I'm dealing with. We all have shit that we're dealing with.
Which kind of echoes Cordy's monologue in Out of Sight, Out of Mind.
Yes.
You think I'm never lonely because I'm so cute and popular? I can be surrounded by people and be completely alone.
And she says, if only you could hear what they're feeling. So it was a nice way to sort of tie the theme in. She says, I could have taken that by now, but I'd rather do it this way, meaning like I'd rather you hand it to me, which he does. So she disarms it impressively.
Yeah, she knows how to eject the live round, which I would never know how to do.
Yeah. And then we learn that he was never planning on killing everyone else. He's like, what are you talking about? I would never hurt anybody. I was going to kill myself. To which Eric and I both had the exact same thought. Well, that's not the gun to do it with.
It's not the tool for the job. You'd have to put it on the ground with a pencil in the trigger.
I mean, maybe that's all he had, I guess. But then
But
I was
also,
like,
why
well,
are you
just
up
jump out of the tower then.
Yeah, why are you up in a tower with a view of the whole courtyard? Like, you could do this at your house.
Yeah.
Or in a garage, or
it
in
could have
the
been
middle
an email
of the courtyard.
Yeah. So
it could have been an email.
Yeah. So
I didn't remember how dark Jonathan got.
Yeah.
We know where he winds up. Spoilers.
He has multiple iterations where we see how broken he is.
His villain story is building the entire time.
Yes, he's the only one that we get that from, because there's a whole other episode where we see his psyche breaking in a really interesting way. Now we cut to Xander in the cafeteria eating his Jell-O. And thank heavens he had a overwhelming craving for Jell-O, because then he sees the lunch lady pouring rat poison,
a cat
into
litter
the stew.
box size box of
labeled
poison.
rat poison.
This was a
Now,
cartoon.
This was so
dumb.
stupid. And here's the thing: how much more interesting would it have been if Xander says earlier in the episode, he's
he does say the lunch lady's trying to kill us.
the lunch lady is trying to kill us.
See, I've been saying for years that the lunch lady's gonna do us all in with that mulligan stew.
Xander.
So what if he went into the cafeteria looking for Jonathan, and then he kind of stops and kind of does a double take and walks back into the kitchen? We don't know why yet. And then we cut to him genuinely finding her.
More interesting than this, but I
Yeah.
think this is a bad twist. This is an anticlimax
Well,
that
let's
this show
just,
likes to do.
this is the twist. This is the twist we get.
Mhm.
Why would they not let Xander have this? Like, why
did he have to
why did he have to be a
fail his way
doofus?
into
Why
it?
did he have
Yeah.
to be, as you said, the Shaggy? Like,
Right.
why couldn't he just be like, oh, he doesn't have any superpowers, but he does, like, I don't, yeah, it was just.
You would have needed to seed a little something. There needed to be health inspectors coming in. There would have needed to be breadcrumbs for him to connect, because him making an offhand comment and then thinking to follow up on it wouldn't have been enough. But there's plenty of room in this episode to write an interesting detective story where Xander can legitimately save the day, as opposed to just happening.
Yeah, it was
onto
just stupid. Now we have a lunch lady fight.
And she's throwing hands. Like, it doesn't just end with one punch.
Yeah, but Xander does go through and Jesus Christ all the lunch tables at first, which was good. I'm glad he at least was able to tear himself away from the Jell-O long enough to do that.
Now, but would the food that they're already eating have been poisoned?
I think some people probably went to the hospital.
Are we assuming this is the third round of poisoning?
Oh gosh,
Like,
yeah, I
she's
don't know.
literally dumping stuff into a pot there. The people who are already eating food
Yeah.
aren't eating from that pot.
That's true. That's
this
true.
makes
And it's
no
all
fucking
stupid.
sense.
Whatever. Buffy beats up the lunch lady. And the way she has to hit this lunch lady, I was like, she would be fully dead. Like, her neck would be snapped. So next day, Buffy is talking about Angel, and they've since talked. And then Giles comes up. Juffy is now talking. She checked in with Jonathan. He's been suspended. And she's like, but I'm really afraid he's going to ask me to prom. And Giles is like, well, that would be nice. She's like, what am I, Saint Buffy? And I was like, yeah, come on.
Yeah,
You
you're not
can't.
doing
This
that.
is too much to ask of a 17-year-old.
And weird that they, I guess because he wrote the letter to the school newspapers, like, we didn't have to turn him in. Like, she did convincingly talk him out of doing this. I don't know that
he needs serious help, and he needs it. It's like like, you can't keep that a secret.
I guess.
Like, for all kinds of reasons.
For insurance purposes.
And first of all, Giles is a mandated reporter. Like that in and of itself. Like you, you can't.
Withdrawn.
Yeah. He's like, so you want to get back to training? Like, let's do that. And she's like, yeah, totally. If you're not too busy having sex with my mother.
Watch out for that tree.
Doink. Giles runs into a tree. The end.
Yeah, that one was
meh.
Fine.
Ba-da-bum.
Sunnydale High Yearbook Committee meeting now in session. Who'd you have for best dressed?
Best dressed. I was obsessed with Buffy's long skirt, tank top, and then eventual little cardigan. I just thought she looked so effing cute, and I want that outfit.
And her hair was great. She had kind of a messy pony. Her makeup was awesome. I liked the earlier version of that same outfit when she's in the hall overhearing the things with just the black tank, the long skirt with the backpack.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the superior version. That the sweater diminished it only slightly for me. Who'd you have for worst dressed?
Worst. We don't even need to say. The Christmas shirt that had no Christmas spirit to be found. Same for you?
Yeah. No, yeah. But I said his Italian restaurant tablecloth shirt.
Yeah.
What was your best line?
Best line.
I love you, even if you're covered with slime.
Would you love me even if I was covered in slime?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Covered in slime.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm the one that slimed you. Who knows?
Moving on.
I loved, as much as I thought it was played just for laughs and maybe didn't stand up to a lot of scrutiny, Courtney going,
I don't see what this has to do with me. I don't see what this has to do with me.
It was so great.
I didn't pick a worse line for this episode because I just feel like they were all kind of
mine was
ooh, Jello.
That's okay, fair. That's good. And then what'd you have for best move?
Making Giles walk into the tree.
That's pretty good. I liked her playing possum at the beginning to lure the guy in closer.
That was good. And
finally, who'd you have for most likely?
Most likely to get sucked into the toxic manosphere, Jonathan.
Interesting, because I think there's a little. I think ours are adjacent. Most likely to become a shit-talking, rage-baiting, contrarian, alt-right influencer, Freddie.
Whoops.
All right, that's all we got. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. If you wouldn't mind, give us a little like, hit that thumbs up. Also, click subscribe. That way you'll find out whenever we put out new stuff. Leave a comment on this video. Tell us what you thought of our picks for the superlatives at the end.
Give us your picks.
Tell us what you thought of Joyce's parenting. That's always a good essay question.
She was fine this week.
They can say what they want. It's a question. They can answer it. And if you've got $5 burning a hole in your pocket, come join us on our Patreon. We do a watch along for every episode. We do a trivia crypt for every episode. And
if you need some guidance about your life,
get some tarot reads. We also do some bonus watch alongs. There's other fun stuff in there. She posts a lot of her spells on there that we share on the show. It's a really good time. And it's at $5, which I know can be a lot to people. So don't feel bad if you can't. But if you can, we really appreciate it. It helps us tremendously. While you're checking stuff out, check out our other show, Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe co-starring her and the hilarious Kim Burns. We've got a big 400th episode spectacular. I got to look at the calendar. I don't know if it will have come out or is about to come out when this comes out, but it's soon. Check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Check that show out at KK Sam Podcast on social media. It comes out every Wednesday. And this show is on social media at Major Slayage Pod. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Until then,
dust you later.